So this is a beautiful metaphor for how the system currently works, right? Very top-down, very hierarchical, almost like a diamond. But nowadays, this whole model is flipped upside down. And that's so fascinating. But there has been something going on in the last couple of decades which is fundamentally changing and transforming our societies. Our societies built up from the Industrial Revolution, beautiful as diamonds. I mean, it's nice to be here in Groningen. We're doing pretty well, so these systems were pretty nice. But these systems are completely changing because of our digital lives. We have the internet, we have technology. It all started in '46 with the supercomputer. This computer was thousands and thousands ways faster than the computer just before the Second World War. After a couple of decades, they looked a bit better. And nowadays, these supercomputers are just around our wrists. It's going really, really fast, and everything has been well forecasted by Mr. Moore, the founder of Intel, the processors that we hold in our hands nowadays. Since the 70s, a processor is every 18 months twice as fast. So since the 70s, every 18 months, a processor like in this iPhone is twice as fast and a little bit smaller. And this technology, this internet, is flipping all the models that we know of completely upside down. Because we just discussed industries, which are a very top-down organized, centralized way, but we have now new industries which are completely decentralized. They're completely other configured than we know before. Airbnb, everybody is a hotel nowadays. If you have an apartment or a room, you can share it, you can rent it out by using Airbnb. The media business, we just discussed, completely changing because of technology and because of the internet. We don't need banks or venture capitalists anymore. We are now all investors if we use crowdfunding, small amounts in things we believe in because we're great products or great organizations. Shopping and retail, our high streets are completely changing because of online shopping, and whole models are flipped upside down. Our educational system needs a rethink. We are used to national curricula, to things that we need to be a good employee in the coming years. We didn't know exactly what a good employee in 10 years' time is. And we can learn individually all over the world with our laptops from the best universities. And we can produce our own energy. We can nowadays produce our own energy if we invest a little bit of money in a solar panel or in wind energy. That's a completely different model from the coal plants that we invested in by utility companies before. We can now do it ourselves. All these examples are decentralized models of a world which is completely flipped upside down compared to the world of the last 200, 300 years. And that's not only it. We also got a voice. Thanks to the internet, thanks to technology, thanks to products like this, social media, we now had a voice. And it's strange to think of, but I mean, 8 years ago, there was no Twitter. So there was no way of saying, I don't like this. There was no way of reviewing something. We now have fundamentally a voice in our societies, in the relations we have with our companies, which is actually very empowering indeed. And now the world looks a bit like this. This is a map of the tweets sent in the last 24 hours. We see quite some many tweets being sent, and this is even a beautiful map of Europe. This is all the in-checks being done on Foursquare in Europe, so you can share with your friends and your colleagues where you have been, or you can see a pretty neat lightening up part of the globe, which is actually the Benelux, the Netherlands, which we love checking in and checking out. And we are connected with 1.2 billion people. This is a beautiful website with 1.2 billion pixels. You click on a pixel, and you end up with a Facebook profile somewhere in the world. So you can connect with 1.2 billion friends, colleagues, partners, customers, etc., etc. Something which wasn't possible just 10 years ago. And we haven't even been discussing the Internet of Things. It's nice to be connected with 1.2 billion people. Let's think about when we connect billions of devices and they start talking to each other and they start making a change in our lives. So our world is flipped upside down because of technology and because of the internet, but also made transparent. We have this voice now, we have all this information, all this data we can use for better if we want to. And I think this beautiful picture, this painting from Delacroix, is a beautiful metaphor for the current state that we're in. It's la liberté guidant le peuple. Liberty is leading the people. And actually, this is what's happening. We are being liberated thanks to technology. We can do so much things ourselves. We can be investors. We can produce energy. We can voice our critique. We can voice our concerns or brilliant ideas. So maybe it's time for a celebration this weekend and when we have drinks later on. Because we're celebrating our Independence Day. We are independent from all these old systems building up since the last couple of centuries, and now we can make our own system very differently from the one before.